Hey guys, welcome back to my next art book preview video. This week we've got Sketchbook Volume 6 of Karl Kopinski. So you might remember last week or a few weeks back I actually did a quick flick through of Sketchbook Volume 5, of which I got a sketch in the front of that one, so that was really cool. This week we'll take a quick look at Volume 6, so there's the cover, front and back. There's not a huge amount on the back of these ones as you can see, but it's a pretty nice book. It's got quite a nice texture to the cover as well. And as mentioned last time, I'm pretty sure that all the books that you buy from Karl's website come signed by him and numbered. So we're starting with a nice Christmas sketch there. It's not far off Christmas, so that's kind of relevant. I always say in these Karl Kopinski art book videos, I like to talk about the kind of characters he draws. And I think from the get-go, you can tell that they are very sci-fi, or some of the characters he draws are very sort of sci-fi mech armor kind of designs. And this one reminds me a lot of something from like Warhammer or Games Workshop, depending on what you know it as. And I'm pretty sure that Karl actually did used to work for Games Workshop, so that would explain it. I also wanted to point this one out on camera just because I thought it was so damn cool. It kind of reminds me of something from like a World of Warcraft game. And you might notice that they're actually quite difficult to fit in shop, these books, because they are actually quite large. And I don't just mean in height, actually. They're almost 150 pages long, these books, which is really quite impressive, especially to say that each one is like, I think, a year's worth of work. So, for example, Sketchbook Volume 5 says 2019 on it, whereas this one, Sketchbook Volume 6, says 2020 on it. And by the way, before I forget, I'm pretty sure by the time I've released this video, Sketchbook Volume 6 will either be out or very close to being out. I'm a big fan of Karl's sketches, but I do like his rendered work like this, very painterly, especially the content of this one. Thor and kind of looks like Wolverine, but also has a look from the older Assassin's Creed games, which is pretty cool. So he's predominantly a character design artist, but it's pretty cool to see pieces like this where they're more like a full scene. For me personally as an artist, I cannot get anywhere near that level of detail into a scene. The thought of even painting a scene is just a little bit too overwhelming. There's the composition and the perspective. And I think when you look at books like this, you don't necessarily think about that. And what I mean is not everyone sort of immediately would know about it to be able to appreciate the effort and the probably years of learning, many years of learning in fact, to actually draw like this and it be correct. Again, I mentioned in the Volume 5, he actually has quite a lot of animal drawings, which is pretty cool. I would say a lot of battle scenes or warriors, fantasy, sci-fi, animal anthropomorphic. I can never pronounce it. A lot of sort of pirate-esque themed, and I'm actually noticing quite a lot of samurai type ones as well, Japanese influence, which is pretty cool. Bikes, that's the other thing. Karl is quite big on bikes. You will see that in a lot of his work. Sometimes it's more cycling stuff, whereas sometimes it's more futuristic designs. And he's got some really nice sketches in these books. Each page, by the way, is a matte finish, and I think on the website it says that it's about 160 GSM, which, in my opinion, is pretty thick, actually, for a sketchbook. It's really nice. And I think I already mentioned it at the beginning, but there's like almost 150 pages in this, so it's really quite a big book. These are actually available only on Karl's website, so I'll put a link in the description box below, or you could just Google Karl Kopinski. I'll put a link to his Instagram page as well, and they're actually pretty affordable. In fact, on top of that, you can pay a very small amount more to get a sketch in the front. If you're interested in seeing that, check out my Volume 5 video. I actually got a sketch in the front of that one, which was awesome. And if you're interested in seeing more of Karl's work, I also have a book preview for the Big Kopinski Volume 1, which is basically sketchbooks 1 and 2 combined, but also they've added in some colour illustrations or paintings. From my understanding, I think these ones that he sells on his website year by year are like a self-published one, and the Big Kopinski is a bigger publishing company. And once these ones are out of print, I don't think he redoes them or reprints them, so I would get your hands on these while you can. Personally, I find books like this just quite inspiring, and just seeing the way that they actually draw. And also, I haven't developed my own style yet, so I always find it interesting seeing artists' styles. So I think I've previewed quite a lot of this on camera, more than enough for you guys to get the idea of what's included. Awesome designs again. I'm always big onto weapons and armor in artwork. So I think we will leave it at this. I'm trying to make my book videos a little bit shorter because I seem to ramble on for way too long and preview too much of the books. So I hope you guys found this video useful. I actually have absolutely tons of art book preview videos now, so I'll put a link in the description box below, but definitely check that out. There's going to be something in there you love. And again, if you're a Star Wars fan, you'll appreciate this. How cool is that? It's a shame he hasn't done more Star Wars stuff, actually. Right, guys, I'm going to leave it at that, so I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful if you were considering purchasing the book. It's always really great to support artists like this. If you did enjoy the video, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out a lot. Hit that thumbs up button and of course switch notifications on to be notified of future content. As well as that, let me know in the comments below what other art books you guys have got recently or what you want to see previewed on camera. Thanks so much for watching, everyone.